It's the legislature who has to change the law.
Kathy Bryan was born and raised in Highspire, went to work at the state welfare department out of high school, and retired last year after 34 years.
Loving it, every minute of it.
But Kathy is troubled by one trend. Fellow retirees going back to work for the state for 95 days, which is the most allowed without pension suspension, and then collecting unemployment benefits when those 95 days are up.
I couldn't understand it. When they get their lump sum, they get their pension, and then they get the unemployment. I just didn't understand why.
Kathy wanted answers, so she wrote to the Auditor General and called her state rep.
Apparently Ron Buxton didn't know about it because he had no clue. He said, well, there really isn't that many, so enough to worry about, and I'm sure that those who are annuitants aren't eligible for unemployment benefits, and he's definitely incorrect.
He is incorrect, and he's not alone in not knowing about this unemployment loophole.
I knew that annuitants could come back and work for a limited period of time, but I never imagined that they could then claim that they were unemployed through no fault of their own.
Glenn Grell is a pension expert, and he calls this an abuse of the system, but it's a legal one. The Department of Labor and Industry confirms there are 1,600 retirees working part-time for the state. 450 of them collect unemployment when the 95 days are up, legally. L&I says a law is needed to change that policy. Grell intends to give them one.
But if there's no legal basis to challenge, we need to give the department the legal basis to say, no, you can't do that.
But for a Highspire girl with high standards, that law can't come fast enough.
In the economy, people need to make extra money, but to go in and dip again and get unemployment just is not right when they're cutting benefits to some of the most vulnerable citizens. I'm just wondering how many know about it.
But Kathy Bryan of Highspire knew. She knew that fellow retirees were triple dipping. That is, retiring, collecting their lump sums and pensions, then going back to work for the state as annuitants for 95 days, the maximum allowed to keep their pensions. And then on the 96th day, they file for unemployment and get it. Kathy knows of dozens of people doing just that, and she knows in her heart it's wrong.
It bothers me a lot, especially when they're cutting services like they are.
Add Senator Pat Vance to the list of lawmakers who didn't know this was happening.
Well, it's not illegal. I was surprised that it wasn't, and certainly believed that it should be. And so we wanted to act on it as quickly as we could.
Vance is about to introduce a bill to stop the annuitant unemployment loophole. She estimates it has cost the state $2 million the past 2 years.
And especially in a year when we're facing so many shortages to vital services, like our hospitals or nursing homes, our universities are being cut. So $2 million may not seem like a huge amount of money, but we have to make cuts when things are being done incorrectly, and there's no question this is incorrect.
In an election year, it's just the kind of issue lawmakers will embrace enthusiastically. Look for this one to move where so many others languish. A constituent told Adam Harris about it.
My first reaction is, let me look into this. It can't be true.
But it is. Workers who retire with their pension and lump sum payouts go back to work to help out their old boss or train new workers for the 95 days allowed without pension penalties. On day 96, they file for unemployment and get it. Perfectly legal in an imperfect system.
I disagree with it. It's wrong. They're doing well. And I think I don't want to be too harsh here, but it's taking advantage of the system.
I think it ought to be stopped right away. The state has been paying too much in the retirement anyway, and the people should be just damn happy to get it at one time rather than twice.
Harris agrees, and his bill to stop triple dipping passed the Labor Committee this week.
And really, these retirees, we have a lot of respect for the work they've done, but they are collecting a state pension. They are paid for the work that they come back and do. Really, to have them then triple dip and take from the Unemployment Compensation Fund, we feel is a little unfair.
In 2011, 239 annuitants, as they're called, filed for unemployment, costing the system $1.1 million. Closing the loophole won't create a windfall for a fund that's sucking wind, but supporters say it's a start.
It's really not fair to continue to add to this debt because we're borrowing money from the federal government to pay unemployment comp benefits. We owe, $3.6 to $4 billion to the federal government.